All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles and bishops of Great Millstone, whom I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to those elect. And I just wanted to, kind of quickly touch on this video, put up by this YouTube channel called Jessica OS. And, she's pretty much breaking down, you know, the, lies and tactics, right? A lot of these women play, a lot of these women do, to basically, manipulate men. All right, which, at the end of the day, it's all witchcraft. All right. And the scriptures go into these things. All right. How women are snares and nets. How women, women cause men to be put to death. You know, and how these women are nothing more than tools for Satan, man. All right, this is why the serpent went to Eve. Went to the woman. All right, let's play this clip. We'll grab some scriptures, and then we'll close it out. Something short and sweet, and cautionary tale to you brothers, man. All right, as we get closer and closer to the Esau going down, our kingdom, 3 hour shy being set up. Expect the unexpected when it comes to these women. All right, Satan, the spiritual demon Satan and Esau, the physical counterpart of Satan, is going to use these women. All right, is going to use these women, man.
Ever had a woman do something so sweet, so thoughtful that you felt lucky to have her? What if I told you that some of those loving gestures can actually be calculated moves to control you, get her way, or shift the power in your relationship without you even noticing? Stay with me, because once you see these tactics for what they really are, you'll never fall for them again.
Before we move on really quick, that is, that's in the scriptures, man. Okay, the woman's desire and the man's rule, Genesis 3:16. All right, we're not gonna read all this. You can kind of pick through the bones as far as this article, but we'll start here. 3 views of Genesis 3:16. However, the fall corrupted this relationship and introduced strife between husband and wife. Sin has corrupted everything. All right, who does sin begin with? The woman. Okay. The scriptures say, we'll get it too. Through her we all die, including marriage. But is this marital strife specifically foretold by the Most High God Yahweh in Genesis 3:16? When God pronounced judgment against Eve, He said unto her, "Your desires shall be contrary to your husband, but he shall rule over you." All right, and that is especially the Israelite woman. All right, the Negro, Latino, Native American woman. She is contrary to the Israelite man. All right, she's constantly, looking. She's constantly looking to, get over, manipulate. She's constantly looking, to put you in a snare or a trap. All right, she's constantly looking to see if she can rule over you, man.
Never fall for them again. Jessica OS here. Welcome to the channel. Remember to always check the channel name to be sure that it says Jessica OS, to be completely guaranteed that this video is produced by me. Now, in this video, I'm exposing 5 seemingly loving things women do that aren't as innocent as they look. We'll break down what's really happening, why it works on men, and how you can spot it before it puts you in the palm of her hand. And I'll give you solutions to counter these if you ever find yourself in that situation, so stay tuned. All right, let's jump right into it. Number 1, the over-the-top praise. Now, you've heard the line, "Wow, you're literally the best man I've ever met." Or maybe it's, "No one could ever compare to you." And hey, in the moment, it feels amazing to hear that. Your ego is glowing, your chest is out, you're thinking, finally, someone who truly appreciates me, right? But here's the game. When praise feels excessive, constant, and a little too perfectly timed, it's not just a compliment, it's bait. She's creating a psychological debt in your mind. It's the same principle that salespeople use when they butter you up before pitching you something expensive. Men fall for this because they're wired to respond positively to validation, especially from a woman they're attracted to. But the problem comes when that validation becomes a setup for compliance later. Let me explain.
All right. You know, and that's what these women do. All right. That's exactly what these women do. All right. They game a lot of men up. And this is why the Lord gave us, the scriptures to, this wisdom on how to deal. Okay. When it comes to women, and a lot of men fall prey to women. All right. Beautiful, so-called beautiful face, nice body. Okay. A lot of men get sent to the spiritual realm, you know, behind women, man. Or even though it's judgment, but nevertheless, these things take place. Ecclesiastes 7:26, and the reason I find more bitter than death, the woman. All right, that's a heavy statement, because death, the Lord can put you to death in a lot of different ways, man. Okay, but there's something more bitter than that, the woman. All right, you see a lot of men, bugged out. You see a lot of men, you know, uh, behind bars. All right, strung out on drugs. You'll trace it back in a lot of the reasonings why these men are in those conditions. You'll trace it back to women whose heart, mind is snares and nets. All right, they always trying to manipulate you. Okay, trap you up. You know, play those mind games, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High God Yahweh shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. All right, this is why you see these Poogies and Ray Rays, these YNs. Just the two-thirds average ninja. He's taken by Eve, man. All right, he's taken by these wicked ass women that get him caught up. All right, playing these mind games. All right, manipulating them. All right, which is a form of witchcraft, man. All right, you got actual women who actually do witchcraft on men. Okay.
A setup for compliance is when someone deliberately uses or creates a situation that makes you more likely to say yes to what they want, often without you realizing it. It's a psychological tactic that works by building up certain emotions and expectations or obligations first, so that when the request finally comes, you feel like agreeing is the natural or only response you can give. Here's how it usually plays out.
Right, Slakia.
Agreeing is the natural or only response you can give. Here's how it usually plays out. They lay the groundwork. This could be, say, excessive praise, doing you favors, showing vulnerability, or showering you with affection. The goal is to put you in a positive, softened, or indebted state of mind. They frame the request in a way that aligns with the version of you that they've been reinforcing. So, for example, let's say she's been telling you all week how generous and thoughtful you are. Then when she asks for something big, she says, I know you'll say yes because you're such a caring guy. Now, saying no doesn't just mean rejecting the request. It feels like you're contradicting the identity that she's been complimenting. The emotional trap has been set. By the time the request arrives, it's harder for you to refuse because, well, you feel grateful and want to reciprocate. You feel guilty if you say no, and you don't want to disappoint the positive image that, they've built for you. It's basically manipulating the conditions just before the ask, so the answer is more likely to be in their favor. It's not that compliments are bad, far from it. But when they're nonstop, exaggerated, or always leading to a by the way, blah, 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 that's when you should take a step back and ask yourself, is she building me up or buttering me up? You can
All right, and that that's what these women do. They'll butter you up. They'll give you all the compliments. The this and that, and ultimately it's because they at the end of the day they want something, man. All right, you can't trust these women. Okay, hey, the scriptures say the scriptures say you know what's the scripture I'm looking for? Matter of fact, let's grab this. Ecclesiasticus 6:7, and it reads, "If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him." All right. So these women, a lot of men they don't apply the scripture. All right. They don't prove these women. They just see a nice face, nice body, and they automatically assume that just because this woman is telling them certain things that they're their friend. All right, that they really they're really into them. All right, you see a lot of these athletes go through that, man. Travis Hunter is a prime example. The woman flat out told him that she wasn't his type, but he still married her anyway, because why? She was doing all these things that this woman is going over in his video. She was pumping his head up. She was manipulating him, man. All right, but he didn't apply. He didn't apply that. He doesn't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, this is why this wisdom is precious, man. Okay, the Lord gives. He lays everything out on the line. All right, including how to deal with these hoes, man. Okay, Ecclesiastes 6:8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of trouble. All right, and these women, they're only around for their benefit, for their occasion, to get money. All right, to get the bag, go on these extravagant trips. All right, but once that money route dries up, what do these women do? They dip out, man. All right, it's the classic. These women, they ain't running no new plays, man. All right, you go back to the 90s, the 80s and the 90s, the 70s, man, the beginning of time. But I'm just trying to give you a time frame. The 70s, the 80s, and 90s, women was doing the same thing to these athletes, man. Still doing it, running the same fucking playbook. All right, you know. Hey, it's crazy that these men they still ain't picked up on the play. All right, ultimately it's because they ain't got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, moving it off here, just something quick I wanted to touch on. All right, Ecclesiasticus is known as Sirach 25:24, and it reads, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin." All right, be careful with these women out here, Akim. Okay, don't be going off the flesh, the lust of the flesh, man. Be very mindful, be very careful when dealing with these women, especially in these last days, man. Because a lot of these women, they are in fact indeed witches. Okay, and through her we all die. All right, a lot of men get sent back to the spiritual realm over these women, man. All right, you see it day in and day out, man. Okay, men getting blasted, on TikTok, men getting shot up, over some fucking box, bro. Right? Because these women out here, they manipulate men. They sleep on one man and they got 2-3 niggas on the side. They talking that talk to them 3 niggas, thinking that they the one. And the nigga that they really messing with, they got him believing he the one, and shit gets out of hand. All right. But with that, we'll end it off. Lord willing, it was edifying. Shalom.